Hi everyone. Tonight's topic is whether you can see an eating disorder or not. Some people get really thin and eventually you can tell because they're so emaciated. But not everyone gets that emaciated, or they go to a program of therapy and they gain weight, but they still have Ed talking in their head, and they're still sick with the eating disorder. And as soon as they go on their own, they're back to the eating disorder behaviors. The other thing is, for example, bulimia. Some bulimics are really thin, but some are not. Some are even overweight. So you can't tell by weight if someone has bulimia or not. You can't even tell if they have anorexia or not because, like I said, they gain weight in programs and then are usually let go from those programs or that therapy, and the voice of Ed is still talking, and they go back to their ways of the eating disorder and start losing weight again. But you see them when they're normal weight, so you don't know that they're anorexic. So weight isn't always a good measure of whether someone has anorexia or bulimia. In fact, it's a terrible measure because people gain weight to get through programs, or they gain weight to get through therapy, and then they leave and Ed is talking and they lose weight again, or they never get thin in the first place. So keep that in mind when you're gaining weight or you're losing weight, that the best thing to do is deal with the Ed voice. It's the internal that really affects the outcome of your eating disorder. You can gain all the weight in the world, but it's not going to affect the outcome of your eating disorder if you don't deal with Ed, if you don't deal with that voice that keeps you going with the eating disorder. You have to deal with Ed. Otherwise, you just keep going through it. I know this. I've gone through this for 40 years. I'll put on weight, and then they'll discharge me from a program or from therapy, and then I'll lose the weight again and be bone thin again. And then I'll put on weight, and then they'll discharge me from the program or the therapy, and I'll be bone thin again because Ed is talking. So you have to really concentrate on the internal as much as you concentrate on the external. The external is important because you can get very sick. My video, what the symptoms are, like what comes about from having an eating disorder, is one to look at. It's very important because when you're thin, you have lots of problems like heart problems and bowel problems and all kinds of health problems. So you have to gain weight, but you also have to deal with the Ed voice. And that's what I have to say on this subject. Now, if you're new here, please subscribe. We have wonderful content. There's over 110 videos and great content. So please subscribe. And I love y'all.